Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you so much for joining. As always, I'd like to seek the blessings of Radha Krishna and Gaunitai and the Guru Parampara, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, so that we can continue the overview of the 10th canto. We'll try to do 2 chapters today if we can, 6 and 7. And I'd like to seek your good wishes and your blessings as well, so that I can advance in my Krishna consciousness. So this is a double verse, text number 39 and 40 of chapter 6.
Mayam Shriya Shama Vipad Putra Sneha Snutani Alam Bhagavan Devaki Putro Kaivalyadi Akhila Pada Tasam Aviratam Krishne Kurvatinam Sutekshanam Napuna Kalpate Rajan Samsara Jnana Sambhavaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is the bestower of many benedictions, including liberation, Kaivalya, or oneness with the Brahman effulgence. For that personality of Godhead, the gopis always felt maternal love, and Krishna sucked their breasts with full satisfaction. Therefore, because of their relationship as mother and son, although the gopis were engaged in various familiar activities, one should never think that they return to this material world after leaving their bodies.
So this is a wonderful statement by Sukadeva Goswami about the position of the gopis, the elderly gopis who were treating Krishna as their son. And this is a little bit linked to the killing of the demon Putana, which is the title of this chapter. Putana. When Nanda Maharaj returned home, because he went to pay tax to Kamsa, and he returned after Vasudeva advised him, there's going to be loads of challenges for Krishna, you should go home straight away. So he saw a great demoniac woman lying on the road, and then he heard about her death. So this is a summary of the chapter. When Nanda Maharaj, the king of Braj, was thinking about Vasudeva's words concerning disturbances in Gokul, he was a little afraid and sought shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Hari. Meanwhile, Kamsa sent to the village of Gokul a Rakshashi named Putana, who was wandering here and there, killing small children. Of course, whenever there is no Krishna consciousness, there is danger of such Rakshashis, Maya, basically. But since the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself was in Gokul, Putana could expect nothing there but her death. So she enters Gokul. One day, Putana arrived from outer space in Gokul, the home of Nanda Maharaj. And by displaying her mystic power, she assumed the disguise of a very beautiful woman. Her natural look was a little bit different, as we'll see in a minute. Taking courage, she immediately entered Krishna's bedroom without anyone's permission. Because she looked so beautiful, they were all enamored by her. When they saw her, they just allowed her to do whatever she wanted. By the grace of Krishna, no one forbade her to enter the house or the room, because that was Krishna's desire. Putana could understand that this child was not ordinary, but was meant to kill all demons. She had that realization even before she did the act of trying to kill him. And this is Putana. And the lesson from this was that Putana was deceptive. She hid her real form, came as a beautiful woman, but still was allowed near Krishna. So imagine if we are straightforward, how easy it will be to approach Krishna. She was devious and she was allowed, right? What if we're straightforward? How much easier it will be. The baby Krishna, who resembled a fire covered by ashes, looked upon Putana and thought that he would have to kill this demon, the beautiful woman. Enchanted by the influence of Yogamaya and the personality of Godhead, Putana took Krishna upon her lap. Sometimes it gets confusing, Yogamaya and Mahamaya. They're used sometimes interchangeably. So generally speaking, I think Yogamaya refers to the spiritual Maya and Mahamaya is the other Maya. But sometimes it just gets a little confusing. But we should understand that there are two types of Maya. That which is controlled by spiritual reality, and the other one is basically within this material world, causing us illusion. Putana took Krishna upon her lap. Neither Rohini nor Yashoda objected. The demon Putana offered her breast for Krishna to suck, but her breast was smeared with poison. The child Krishna therefore squeezed Putana's breast so severely that in unbearable pain she had to assume her original form and fell to the ground, giving up her life. The gigantic body of Putana. So then she had to give up her original body because Krishna sucked the life out of it, her breast. And she had a gigantic body, which is said to be 12 miles. And this is the most amazing thing about Krishna. He does few things at the same time. She fell, she grew, and then she fell. But the land she fell on, the pasturing ground that she fell on, was Kamsi's land. It wasn't Nand Maharaj's land. So he smashed that whole area within a limit of 12 miles, because that's how long her body was. The Rakshasi's mouth was full of teeth, each resembling the front of a plow. Her nostrils were deep like mountain caves. Her breasts resembled big slabs of stone fallen from a hill. Her scattered hair was the color of copper. The sockets of her eyes appeared like deep blind wells. Her fearful thighs resembled the banks of a river. Her arms, legs, and feet seemed like big bridges, and her abdomen appeared like a dried up lake. Then Krishna began playing on her breasts, just like a small child. When Krishna was playing, the gopis were pacified and joyfully picked up the child. Up to now, they were petrified. What's happened to Krishna? Where is he? So they were really happy when they saw him. He was then thoroughly washed with cow urine and smeared with the dust raised by the movement of the cows. So this is how important Gomata is. Supreme Personality of Godhead was washed with cow urine. And cow dust was sprinkled all over him, smeared all over him. Then different names of the Lord were applied with cow dung on 12 different parts of his body. There you go. Good luck. So this is Putana's description. And later on, we'll see how they burned her body and it smelled of like incense, a guru incense. Aroma, beautiful. That's due to Krishna's touch, of course. So Krishna accepted Putana's poison. This is the most incredible aspect of this pastime. And then later on, we'll see, he gave her the position of mother. So just imagine, that was serving in a negative, horrible mood. When we serve in a favorable mood, how much more happier Krishna will be with us. He was happy with Putana because she wanted to serve him. Even he was happy to accept her poison as milk. So this is the neutrality of the Lord. This is the glory of the Lord. Only he can do this, be neutral.
At the edge, there are gopis.
Yeah, where? Let's see. Yeah, where are the gopis? There. Yeah, well done. Well done. Very good. Very good. Well spotted. Okay, there you go. So then the gopis, they chanted names of different lordships to protect different parts of Krishna's body.
So I think these are similar to how we apply the tilak as well. Some of these
Maybe.
things. Okay, so may Aja protect your legs, may Maniman protect your knees, Yagya your thighs, Achutya the upper part of your waist, and Hayagriv your abdomen. May Kesha protect your heart, Isha your chest, the sun god your neck, Vishnu your arms, Urukrama your face, and Ishwar your head. May Chakri protect you from the front. May Srihari Gadadari, the carrier of the club, protect you from the back. May the carrier of the bow, who is known as the enemy of Madhu, and Lord Ajana, the carrier of the sword, protect your two sides. May Lord Urugaya, the carrier of the conch, protect you from all corners. May Upendra protect you from above. May Garud protect you on the ground. May Lord Haladhara, the supreme person, protect you on all sides. May Rishikesh protect your senses, and Narayan your life air. May the master of Shvetadeep protect the core of your heart. May Lord Yogeshwar protect your mind. May Lord Garbha protect your intelligence. And the Supreme Personality of Godhead, your soul. While you're playing, may Govinda protect you. And while you're sleeping, may Madhav protect you. May Lord Vaikuntha protect you while you're walking. May Lord Narayan protect you while you're sitting.
Oh, one more, sorry. One more.
Even actions also.
Similarly, may Lord Yagnabuk always protect you while you enjoy life.
Mm.
Even actions are also there.
Sorry?
Even for actions also. Sitting, standing, walking.
Not sure about that. But anyway, this was all the different prayers that the gopis and Mother Yashoda and Nand, or not Nand Maharaj, he wasn't there at that time. They were praying for the safety of Krishna. A little bit more. The evil witches known as the Kinis, Yatudanis, and the Kushmandas are the greatest enemies of children. And the evil spirits are always ready to give trouble to the body, life air, and senses, causing loss of memory, madness, bad dreams. But one can vanquish them simply by uttering Lord Vishnu's names. After they had chanted these mantras to protect Krishna, Mother Yashoda breastfed Krishna and then laid him in bed. Meanwhile, Nanda and his associates, the cowherdmen, returned from Mathura. Yes, Nariman.
As Hare Krishna, all the names that the gopis prayed on for the different parts are the name of the Vishnu.
Not all, because as Garud is there,
Garud is there, yeah.
Sun God.
Haladhar is also Lord Shiva.
Okay.
No, that's
No.
Who's that?
Balram.
Oh,
Hal-
yes, Balaram. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
No, some of the names we don't know at all.
Some of them we don't know. Vishnu Garbha, that's Lord Vishnu.
Vaikuntha.
Mostly Vishnus. Mostly Vishnu.
Vaikuntha is not the name of Vishnu. Where
Lord
Vishnu received.
Vaikuntha.
Yeah, Lord Vaikuntha, he is.
Yeah, Vishnu.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Mostly Vishnu.
Yes.
Meanwhile, they came back from Mathura and they saw this great dead body of Putana. They were struck with wonder. Everyone was astonished that Vasudev had foretold this mishap, and they praised Vasudev for his power of foresight. The inhabitants of Braj cut the gigantic body of Putana into pieces. But because Krishna had sucked her breast, she had been freed from all sins. Therefore, when cowherdmen burned the pieces of her body in a fire, the smoke filled the air with a very pleasing fragrance, aguru, incense. So what happened to Putana? Although Putana desired to kill Krishna, she attained the Lord's abode to have a maternal relationship with the Lord, simply because she offered her breast to the Lord. Even if one is attached to Krishna as an enemy, one ultimately attains success. This is extraordinary. This is why the Lord is the Lord. He doesn't discriminate between the devotees or the demons. So even if like Kamsa, eventually he was simply thinking of Krishna 24/7 in a negative way, but yet Krishna liberated him as well. What then is to be said of those who have natural devotion and affection for Krishna as mothers, and who offered him their breasts to suck, or offered something very dear as a mother offers something to a child? So Krishna would become so much pleased. Upon smelling the fragrance of the smoke emanating from Putana's burning body, many inhabitants of Brajabhumi in distant places were astonished. Where is this fragrance coming from? They asked. Thus they went to the spot where Putana's body was being burnt. When the inhabitants of Braja heard about the killing of Putana and the welfare of the child, they were very much satisfied. Nanda Maharaj took the baby Krishna on his lap and was filled with satisfaction. Any person who hears with faith and devotion about how Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God, killed Putana, and who thus invests his hearing in such childhood pastimes of Krishna, certainly attains attachment for Govinda, the Supreme Original Person. That's the end of chapter 6. Anybody, any questions? Anything you like to, or anything you'd like to share, you may have heard?
Prabhuji,
Yes, Haniman.
I thought that at some stage in this Putana chapter, Krishna showed the universal form. When he opened the mouth for Yashoda, Ma,
Yes.
and she saw the whole universe in his mouth.
Yes, it's after the next demon, Trinivarta.
No, but that's one. I thought this one stage it comes before this.
No, it will come. I think it comes in the next pastime.
It comes definitely there, but I thought.
Yeah, she saw it twice. She saw it twice. So you're right. It was after a demon. It was the Trinivarta. After Trinivarta was killed, he opens. She was.
Okay.
And then again, when he ate the dirt, she saw it. When Balaram told on him. So yeah, it is there, but not after Putana. It's after Trinivarta.
Okay, I'll check. I see. Okay.
You'll see it in a minute. It's in this chapter now.
Yeah, I read that, but I thought there was something before that as well. I may be mistaken. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Go for it. Good luck.
Ahobhasati adbhutam isha rakshasha balo nivritam gamito vayagat punaha himshra swapapena vihimshita kalala sadhu samatvena vayad vimuchyate. It is most astonishing that although this innocent child was taken away by the Rakshas to be eaten, he has returned without having been killed or even injured. Because this demon was envious, cruel, and sinful, he has been killed for his own sinful activities. This is the law of nature. An innocent devotee is always protected by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and a sinful person is always vanquished for his sinful life.
So this is Trinivarta's pastime or end. The killing of the demon Trinivarta. So the summary of this chapter, Krishna's pastimes of breaking the cart. So two things happened. He was, this Shakrata Bhanjat took place, and he also killed Trinivarta. And this is the point you were saying, demonstrated the entire universe within his mouth. Yeah, so that's in this chapter. King Parikshit said to Sukadeva Goswami that simply by hearing of these activities, it is certainly pleasing to the ear and to the mind, and the dirty things in one's mind immediately vanquish. It's a fact, isn't it? We feel so refreshed when we hear and recite these pastimes of the Lord. You know, all the rubbish in our mind just disappears. Generally, people are reluctant to hear about the activities of the Lord, but Krishna's childhood activities are so attractive that one's attachment for hearing about material things vanishes. And one gradually develops devotional service to the Supreme Lord, attachment for him, friendship with devotees who give us the contribution of Krishna consciousness. When Sukadeva Goswami saw that Parikshit Maharaj was eagerly waiting to hear about Krishna's pastimes as a child, He was very pleased, very much pleased, and he continued to speak. This is really the first time that Sukadeva Goswami, a renunciate, a avadut, was speaking about as a child, pastimes of the child. When he talked about Ram, he didn't talk about any of the pastimes as a child. So it shows the importance of Krishna's pastime, that even a renunciate who has nothing to do with families or children or women is now giving such wonderful pastimes of Krishna. So these are extraordinary pastimes. We shouldn't think them as ordinary, but very liberating. Okay. His pastime of breaking the cart. When Krishna was only 3 months old and was trying to turn upside down, backside down, up, backside up, before he even attempted to crawl, Mother Yashoda wanted to observe a Vedic ceremony with her friends for the good fortune of the child. So even this, there is a samskar. We don't normally follow this, but there is a samskar that before the child turns and before he crawls, there is a ceremony that is performed for his protection.
My mother and father also did that.
Did they? For you?
Yes.
Do you remember it?
Yes, sir. Really.
Oh, you can't remember that. Come on.
I can remember.
Wow, you're amazing. Such a ceremony is generally performed with ladies who also have small children. When Mother Yashoda saw that Krishna was falling asleep because of other engagements, she put the child underneath a household cart. So she was thinking he'll be safe there. This is called Shakata. And while the child was sleeping, she engaged herself in other business pertaining to the auspicious ritualistic ceremony. So now this cart actually was a demon. He converted himself as a cart. He was in disguise. Underneath the cart was a cradle, and Mother Yashoda placed the child in that cradle. The child was sleeping, but suddenly he awakened, and as usual for a child, he began kicking his small legs. This kicking shook the cart, which collapsed with a great sound. So actually, the cart was going to fall on Krishna to kill him. But before he could do that, Krishna kicked it very hard, breaking completely and spilling all its contents. Now, there were loads of children playing who were older to Krishna. They were playing nearby. They immediately told Mother Yashoda because this sound was so loud. She was wondering, what happened? What's happened? So she was very scared. And the children told her, yes, the cart has broken. So then she came there running in great anxiety with the other gopis. But nobody could believe that Krishna broke the cart. He was fine. He was safe. The cart was in pieces and everything was flying around. Mother Yashoda immediately took the child on her lap and allowed him to suck her breast. Then various Vedic ceremonies were performed with the help of the Brahmins. Not knowing the identity of the child, the Brahmins showered the child with blessings. So this is 3 months old Shaktasura. There he is. He came disguised as a cart, planned to drop himself on Krishna and crush him.
Balaram.
Balaram is there. Yes, yes. Good, good. That's right.
Krishna is there in that cradle.
And Krishna's there in the cradle, gives him a big kick.
Here is Mother Yashoda.
Yeah, that's right. Now, there was a lesson from this. It's a really interesting one. We may also be carrying a burden of a cartload of old and bad habits, lethargy, vanity, anger, lust, greed, etc., etc. And we can request the assistance of the Lord to get rid of these bad qualities and acquire good qualities. So our cartload of rubbish, we can ask the Lord, please give it a good kick. I mean, that's a nice request.
And there are all things there.
Yes, that's right. That's right. That's what made all the noise as well.
Yes.
Very good.
Because when gold fell, sounds come. Because it is usually made of metals.
Yeah, good. Okay, in his previous life, Sakatasura was Utkach, son of the demon Hiranyaksh. While having fun in the forest, he trampled and destroyed the green trees and creepers of Rishi Lomasha, his ashram. The Rishi became angry and cursed him. May you become bodiless. That's pretty heavy curse for destroying the garden. Anyway, Utkacha realized his fault and he fell at the feet of the Rishi and begged for forgiveness. Pleased by Utkacha's act, the Rishi said, "You will be liberated from the curse by the touch of Lord Krishna's feet." So he became bodiless, but he could disguise himself as a cart. And now, by the casual kick of Krishna, Sakatasura was liberated from his curse and he attained moksha. Interesting.
Even liberation is temporary.
This liberation, when the Lord kicks you, that's actually permanent because the Lord has touched you.
Go to Vaikuntha.
Yeah.
Yes, some liberations like when you go to heaven, we fall down easily.
Yeah.
That's moksha.
Yeah.
That is another moksha. That
Yeah.
are temporary. Some of the mokshas are permanent.
Yeah.
Staying with the Lord is also moksha.
Yeah. If you're going to heaven, that's actually not regarded as moksha. That's just regarded to be within this material world. So moksha is when you leave this material world. But as you said, sometimes that even can be temporary because if you merge with the Lord, then there might be this tendency to fall again.
Yes, sir. Brahmajyoti.
Brahmajyoti.
We have not reached the perfect
State.
we have not spiritualized. That's why.
It's a kind of spiritual realization, but it's not the complete spiritual realization. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. Because there, you're not attracted by the Lord. And the danger is if you're doing nothing, because the soul is always active, doing something. So if you suddenly become inactive, then the danger is you become bored, and may want to again come back to this material world.
In this age, we don't have so many rishis and sages because this is Kali Yuga.
True.
Even Brahmanas also behave like mad people.
The adults could not believe the children's talk because they told that Krishna gave this cart a kick. So they called for experienced Brahmins to chant Vedic hymns and perform an auspicious ritualistic.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Sitaram.
Hare Krishna, Sitaram.
Yes, when you said Brahma Jyoti, we have no body, Prabhu. We have a body. We cannot merge, and you have to come back again to do devotional service. This is the conclusion of the Lord. Several times by those people, for example, the Arya Samajis, everywhere they are speaking, and they are not determined to go back to Godhead. They will return again in this material world, provided they accept devotional service. It is love. Only love of God is very considerable for Krishna. Hare Krishna.
They will be careless in this age when we go to Brahmajyoti.
Yeah. Better not to name any groups because even within certain groups, even within the group that you mentioned, there are devotees, in fact, who believe in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna.
Yes.
So, after the ceremony, Nanda Maharaj sumptuously fed all the Brahmins with first-class grains and other food, gave them cows as well, fully decorated with garments, flower garlands, and gold necklaces. So this is very important, very instructive, that whenever we do a ceremony, we must give dakshina, must feed the devotees. So then Trinivarta turns up. Another day when Krishna was 1 year old, Mother Yashoda was sitting with her child on her lap. She suddenly observed that he had assumed the weight, that's Krishna, had assumed the weight of the entire universe. He became really heavy. She was so astounded that she put the child down and called for the Brahmanas to counteract this heaviness. Immediately, she would seek assistance if something was happening which was unusual. In the meantime, Trinivarta, one of the servants of Kamsa, appeared there as a whirlwind and took the child away. The whole tract of land known as Gokul became surcharged with dust. Trinivarta, that's right. It was like Trinavarta, yeah. It was like a whirlwind.
Whirlwind.
Yeah,
Whirlwind.
whirlwind.
He looks like a tornado.
Tornado. Nobody could see where the child had been taken. Mother Yashoda could find no trace of her son, nor could she understand why. Then she fell down on the ground like a cow who had lost her calf and began to lament very pitifully. When the force of the windstorm and the winds subsided, Yashoda's friends, the other gopis, approached Mother Yashoda, hearing her pitiful crying. Not seeing Krishna present, they too felt very much aggrieved and joined Mother Yashoda in crying, their eyes full of tears. In the meantime, Trinavarta had taken Krishna very high in the sky. But in the sky, the Asura, being overburdened by the child, could not carry the child far away. Because of Krishna's weight, Trinavarta considered him like a great mountain or a chunk of iron. However, he could not drop the child either because Krishna had caught him so tightly. It was difficult for him to separate Krishna from his body. How fortunate Trinavarta was, eh? Krishna grasped him by the throat and Trinavarta choked, unable to even make a sound and even move his hands and legs. His eyes popping out, the demon lost his life and fell along with the little boy down to the ground of Raj. The demon having fallen, and the gopis picked up the child and delivered him to the lap of Mother Yashoda. There he is, whirlwind, tornado. There's Krishna, got his hands around them. Krishna actually wanted a little bit of a funfair ride, right? Isn't it?
Mm.
He got his funfair ride. Everybody likes the funfair and enjoy a what is it? Roller coaster.
There is all rest only.
That's right. And we've got all of that. The Brajbasis were thankful to Lord Vishnu, embracing Krishna very tightly. They could not understand that Krishna himself had killed the demon. So there's a nice lesson from this one. False pride, which Trinavarta had, comes from this material talents. I am so intelligent, I am so strong, should be checked. Knowing that any skill that we may possess is a gift from the Lord. We shouldn't think that we are intelligent. We ourselves are the source of our good fortune. Actually, the good fortune is also a gift from the Lord.
I am the king of the universe.
Yeah, that's right. Thus, Mother Yashoda was struck with wonder. Although this innocent child was taken away by the Rakshas to be eaten, he had returned without having been killed or even injured, not even a slight scratch on him. Because this demon was envious, cruel, and sinful, he had been killed for his own sinful activities. That was the verse that we read. But because of Yoga Maya's influence, no one could understand who Krishna was and what had actually happened. Rather, everyone began to praise fortune for the child's having been saved from such a calamity. Nand Maharaj, of course, was thinking of the wonderful foretelling of Vasudeva and began to praise him as a great yogi. So this is really quite nice. This is where Trinivarta on the floor, Mother Yashoda was delivered the baby and she immediately took him on her lap. And everybody's so happy. Because the lesson, this demon was envious, cruel, sinful. He had been killed for his own sinful activities. This is the law of nature. An innocent devotee.
Yashoda Mata is there. Krishna is there.
Oops, 1 second. So an innocent devotee is always protected by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sinful person is always vanquished by sinful life. So then Krishna shows this the Mother Yashoda universal form. One day, Mother Yashoda, having taken Krishna up and placed him on her lap, was feeding him milk from her breast with maternal affection. The milk was flowing from her breast and the child was drinking it. When the child, Krishna, was almost finished drinking his mother's milk, Mother Yashoda was touching him and looking at his beautiful, brilliantly smiling face. The baby yawned. And Mother Yashoda saw in his mouth the whole sky, the higher planetary system and earth, luminaries in all directions, the sun, the moon, the fire, air, seas, islands, mountains, rivers, forests, and all kinds of living entities, moving and non-moving. When Mother Yashoda saw the whole universe within the mouth of her child, her heart began to throb, and in astonishment, she wanted
In many places, they would tell like Krishna ate more than.
No, that's coming. That's coming. That's
Later.
that's the number 2.
Later.
Second time.
Not this time.
So there's 2 times Krishna shows the universal form to his mother. And she wanted to close her restless eyes. There you go. She's admiring the most amazing personality. Constant. And
I like this picture.
every day she sees him, she thinks, who is this? His qualities, his beauty has increased multifold. And that's not even possible because he's already very, very beautiful. But every day she would be wondering, who is this gorgeous person? Who is this gorgeous child? And Krishna, he would just love the attention of Mother Yashoda. Shower her with so much mercy. How wonderful this is. When she saw the universal form, she could not express, but simply closed her eyes. Lesson from this, Krishna is showing the universal form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even when lying down on the lap of his mother, proves that God is always God. Whether he is manifested as a child on the lap of his mother or a charioteer on the battle of Kurukshetra. This is a really important lesson to understand. He's God no matter what position he takes. Subordinate to his mother or the gopis, or subordinate to Arjun who's instructing him.
I heard that Srila Prabhupada prejudice is not related to this, but I am talking related to Krishna and Arjuna universal form. Can I tell that?
No.
No, it doesn't relate to this part.
You can do that.
When we come to that.
We won't actually come to that. What were you going to say?
I heard that seeing universal form is not as mean seeing the two-handed form of Krishna.
Yes, that's correct. You're correct about that. But also, we have to understand the universal form that Yashoda Mai saw is different.
Eternal.
No, it's not eternal. It's actually within this material world.
Yes.
It's also different. When she looked in his mouth twice, she didn't see the warriors eaten up. Yeah, she saw a different universe, a much more, it was
More like the planets and things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
More than Arjuna.
Not necessarily.
similar, different, yeah, different from Arjuna, different. Okay, so yes, Naliman, thank you so much for joining. Sunil, This is from, yes, this is from the 10th canto. Not the, it's the Krishna book, it's one and the same thing, but we're going through the 10th canto itself. Krishna book is a summary of the 10th canto. And 11th and 12th canto is translated, distributed by some disciples. Yes, that's correct. He didn't completely finish the 10th canto. So there's a devotee called Hidanandan Swami who continued the translations of the Srimad Bhagavatam Puran. After his departure, yes. Am I right? Yes, you're right. So 11 and 12, yes. After 12, there's no more cantos. It finishes at the 12th canto.
Prabhuji, if we complete 12 cantos, what should we do?
Start again.
Somebody asked that yesterday, one of the children. After the 20 weeks are over, what are we going to do? So I said, let us first survive the 12 cantos, and then we'll see. But I've got a plan. We want to do Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Yeah, but if you have
Are we going to do nectar of instruction?
Yes, nectar of instruction, we've already done it, but we will again. But nectar of devotion is what I wanted to look at, which is extraordinary. Bhakti Rasamrita.
Sanatan Goswami or Rupa Goswami wrote that?
That is Sanatan.
Sanatan.
Rasamrita.
Bhakti Rasamrita.
Yeah,
but Srimad Bhagavatam, you should never stop reading.
Anyway, yeah.
Because
Yes.
and Nityam Bhagavata Seva, you have to serve the Bhagavatam forever.
Constantly.
If you serve Bhagavatam, you are directly serving Krishna.
Yes. Good.
So that's
And his devotees.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. So
Good.
you never finish reading this Bhagavatam.
Good.
Prabhuji, how devotee Bhagavatam looks like?
Because he is living the Bhagavatam, he is regarded to be the walking, talking Bhagavatam. So when you serve the devotee, you're serving the Bhagavad Puran as well.
Yes, because Krishna never tolerates if we do anything to devotees.
Yeah, very true.
That's why Krishna sent his Sudarshana Chakra, because Durvasa Muni is trying to curse Ambarish Maharaj.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
Yeah, because the devotees are always talking about the Bhagavatam and from the Bhagavatam. That's why they are
But we don't listen to it.
Yeah, we don't put it into practice.
We do the 4 regulation.
Okay. Anybody else? Any questions? Any comments? Otherwise, Madhusudan Prabhu, would you like to take away the instructions, please?
Okay, Haribol, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Jai, it's really wonderful listening to you going through this Bhagavatam and also talking about the different demons, and I learned more from Riyansh there as well. Different types of liberations, and his interaction is very good. You know, he's very knowledgeable, and so when we are serving and a pure devotee like Riyansh as well, so it's wonderful. Thank you for your contributions, Riyansh. So Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So the instructions, there's so many instructions from here, as you're describing the pastimes and the Krishna, and we can learn so much every time, really. So it's hard to find specific instructions. But in this chapter, we are being instructed as to how Putana got liberated and got the position of a nurse to assist Mother Yashoda in the transcendental pastimes of the Lord in Golok Vrindavan, even though she had intended to kill Krishna with envious and rakshasi kind of mentality. By Krishna's mercy. So this is Krishna's mercy. Only by Krishna's mercy can a demon like that, with even though with bad intentions, can it's up to Krishna to decide what what kind of liberation he wants to give, but certainly, he doesn't let anybody down when anybody is serving even. So what to speak of anyone doing bhakti with a favorable kind of intentions? So Srila Prabhupada also explains that even in the houses of the cultivators who were not very advanced in the modern ways of civilization, the ladies used to know how to chant mantras to give protection. So this is the other part of where, after Putna had killed, the gopis get together and all, they were concerned there is anxiety. It's kind of a spiritual anxiety for Krishna. So they use the mantras and the chant, and they use cow dung, cow urine. This is Vedic, civilization where cow is respected and it gives protection, And this was a simple and a practical way to give the greatest protection for the greatest dangers. So people should know how to do this, for this is a part of the Vedic civilization. So this is why we have these sanskars and different types of celebrations to do at certain times as the baby is growing, and even Riyansh can remember his back upward or whatever. And these are important things to be done. Whereas in some other cultures, there's a different kind of what shall I say, celebration, or rather ceremony that goes through, which is traumatic actually in the Jewish and Muslim communities. And then they get traumatized, and then they're taking revenge for it for the rest of their life, So we should learn to protect ourselves by chanting the Maha Mantra and other prayers which are offered by the acharyas and Goswamis. So these ladies learn how to do these mantras and use cow urine, cow dung. So that's important, So, and then this chapter reflects that culture, Vedic culture. And chapter 7, then, Srila Prabhupada mentions in his purport that the process to revive one's Krishna consciousness is Adau Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha. So it is by Sadhu Sangha. The pastimes of Krishna can be properly received from devotees. If one has developed a little bit of Krishna consciousness by hearing from Vaishnavas about the activities of Krishna, one becomes attached to Vaishnavas who are interested only in Krishna consciousness. So this is a process. By listening a little bit, then we listen from the pure devotees. And that's why we get attached to these devotees. So he's like Prabhupada, he's described these pastimes and he's printed, the books. And when we read, we feel attached to Prabhupada, we can't refer to anything else. Killing of Putna and Trinavarta and all these demons by baby Krishna are amazing for us. And as Srila Prabhupada explains, that they are extremely wonderful for the inhabitants of this planet. But on other planets, the inhabitants are more advanced. And therefore, the pastimes of the Lord performs there are still more wonderful. So there are pastimes that go on other planets as well. And Krishna's appearance on this planet, like a human being, makes us more fortunate than the demigods in the higher planets. And therefore, Maharaj Parikshit was very much interested in hearing about him. So even Maharaj Parikshit is inquiring more and more about baby Krishna's pastimes. And so we are fortunate that, on this platform, Navi, and going through all these pastimes. So even just listening and hearing these pastimes with the interactions of the devotees, so like Riyansh and all this, it makes it wonderful. Thank you very much, Haribo, Hare Krishna. To the Prabhupada ki jai.
Okay, thank you so much, Madhusudan Prabhu. Any questions for Madhusudan Prabhu?
Okay, do you want to raise up the age and then take some time? I'll have time anyway. Yeah. Just tell them
Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. So tomorrow we are going to look at the life and times of Gopal Bhatt Goswami. He his disappearance day is the day after, on Wednesday. But it's just nice to discuss the day before, so we remember him on the day as well. So, and Karuna Panda is also going to recite the prayers, I think, by the Devatas, I believe, in one of the chapters that we've covered in the 10th canto. So thank you so much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.